Hey, Pharmacist Ben, how are you?
Hello there, AJ. Good to see you.
Great to see you. How's your weekend?
It's good. Uneventful, just like I like it.
You got to chill out?
Uneventful, yes. Well, I worked a little bit,
Looks like you got a
did some
haircut.
stuff. I did get a haircut. That is
So,
correct. Got a haircut.
see, I noticed things like that. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us on Pharmacist Ben's Bytes. I just turned on Facebook because I forgot to do that. And welcome to our show today. It's called Discoloration, Dysbiosis, and Other Diseases. Sticking with our theme there.
What's discoloration? I'm not sure I understand that.
Yes, I got a woman who appears to be about 70 years old. She's got dark patches on her fair olive
Okay, got
red
it.
skin.
Got it. Got it.
So
Got it. Got it.
she
Okay.
wants me to give her face cream. And I said,
Okay.
no,
All
you
right.
got
So
to take care of the inside.
have you and I talked about this? Was this on our call last Friday?
Uh, well, I was going to mention it on Friday, but we decided
Okay.
to
I
today.
think late at the end you kind of mentioned it a little bit or something. So here's the deal. Um, it gets a little tricky, but we're just going to assume that the problem she has is pigment, melanin pigment. Melanin is pigment. There's another type of pigment that is not melanin that's associated with aging and a toxicity and poor drainage or poor elimination. And that is called lipofuscin. That accumulates under the skin. It's kind of a yellowish tinge. It can happen in the eyes. It can happen in the brain. It can happen throughout the body, really. And that's a little bit different. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the pigment, melanin, and the condition, which is called hyperpigmentation or melasma. And I'm going to guess that this is what this gal is talking about. Now, hyperpigmentation or melasma is a sign of pigment that is darkening in an out of control fashion. If you go out in the sun, you get a tan, your pigment is darkening in a controlled fashion. But as we age and our biochemistry changes, we pigment in an out of control fashion. We pigment in a disorganized, random fashion. And the major causes of this hyperpigmentation or melasma condition are disruptions in how the body processes the hormone estrogen and cortisol, stress hormone. And that can be compounded by blood sugar problems. And all of it can be compounded by digestive issues, which is the main thing that causes everything. So melasma hyperpigmentation is notoriously difficult to treat because everybody wants a cream. And the problem, as you said, AJ, it's not a cream issue. You're oxidizing, you're rusting. It's like a banana that turns brown. It turns brown when it gets old because it's oxidizing. And in fact, the pigment that turns brown, or some of it anyway, that's turning brown in a banana is melanin. It's your pigment. Same kind of chemical. So what's happening is we're oxidizing. That means we're rusting. That means we're aging. And you can get a cream, and I'll tell you how you do it topically. There are a couple things you can do topically, but it's going to come back if you don't correct it. And that's why melasma and hyperpigmentation have a reputation for being the hardest thing to treat from a dermatological or an esthetician perspective. Now, topically, the prescription gold standard for lightening the skin is something called hydroquinone. And hydroquinone is extremely nasty stuff. You need a prescription for it. I make it in my pharmacy. And it's pretty effective, but it's just nasty. The next best way is topical retinol, which is nowhere near as nasty as hydroquinone, and actually is better than hydroquinone for skin lightener. So get a prescription for retinol or retinoic acid. If you go on my website, truthtreatments.com, you'll find retinol 5%, and that's a great skin lightener. But it's going to come back if you don't take care of the problem internally, which involves stress hormone and estrogen. there's a lot of ways to work on stress hormone and estrogen. Stress hormone obviously is relaxed stress, but it's not just psychological stress. It's biological stress inside the body, physiological stress. So if you have digestive issues, blood sugar issues, inflammatory issues, those are going to cause cortisol to go up, and those are going to cause stress. In fact, the chemistry or the system that makes stress hormone is tied in with the system that makes pigment. It's called the melanocortin system. And the melanocortin system connects pigment with stress. And why? What's that got to do with anything? Well, to the body, the sun represents a major stress. So melanin or pigmentation is part of the stress, or pigmenting, I should say, is part of the stress response. And so when your stress hormone goes up, that triggers the stress response, which causes pigment. This is why estrogen is also associated with pigmentation, because estrogen is also a stress hormone. So between estrogen and cortisol, relaxing stress, correcting digestive issues, making sure your fats are correct, oxidized fats activate the stress system, and oxidized fats can actually be associated with hyperpigmentation. So French fries and all the foods, Doc talks about the seed oils and, fried oils and fried fats. You got to stay away from those. You got to patch up your leaky gut. There's a lot you can do. But you want to treat melasma or hyperpigmentation as a health issue, not a skin issue. Yes, you can lighten the skin topically. But if you're oxidizing on your skin, you're aging at an accelerated pace and you're running higher risks for other degenerative diseases and female health issues as well. So you really want to treat it like a health issue. And that's all the things we talk about: blood sugar and digestive. And, it's not like you had the healthy melasma pack, or there's not like a melasma pill that you can take or hyperpigmentation pill. It involves taking care of the body as a system and getting health.
Mm-hmm. When I look at the woman, I can tell there's some connective tissue degeneration, and I
listen to you. You're getting some good stuff there, AJ. You're learning some stuff.
Learning from the champ, and then I also noticed walking with a cane. So some.
You notice what?
She walks with a cane.
Okay, well, yeah. She has a lot of problems other than, there's a lot of things going on there.
But we're vain people, right? We want that skin stuff. I get that. But thank you for the direction. Now I've got several questions, but I'd like our superstar distributor, and what is she now? She is a naturopathic something. What are you now?
A certified naturopathic physician.
No,
practitioner. Sorry, practitioner. Certified naturopathic practitioner.
She's been working with docs for so long that she's just got that rolling off her tongue.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Still working on it.
Get to your question, young lady.
Oh, okay. So, Pharmacist Ben.
Yes.
We're talking about skin. We're talking about discoloration. How about discoloration that you do want? And is it possible for
tanning,
a health person like me to tan?
Of course, but you got to get a base tan first.
Okay.
You can't just go out and try and get tan. You got to do it gradually. And that's not really a nutrition thing, so I can't really tell you too much about it. But I know that you get a base tan, and then you build on that base tan is how you want to do it. But you got to be careful because you don't have the main melanin's protection, and you don't have it. So when you're doing your base tan, what you want to do is you want to do eye vitamins while you're getting your base tan. You want to do all the things that are in Vision FX and an Occutive. In fact, take Occutive.
Okay.
Take Occutive while you're building your base tan, because the nutrients in Occutive will protect your skin. And Vision FX too. The Vision FX and the Occutive have nutrients in them that will protect your skin from the sun. That's a great strategy for people who are going out on a cruise in the summertime, or, playing tennis or golf, if you use eye vitamins, particularly carotenes, things like zeaxanthin and lutein, carotenoids, beta carotene, and then also amino acid, taurine, tryptophan, zinc, selenium, vitamin E, vitamin C. These are all found in eye vitamins, and acetylcysteine. They'll also protect your skin.
Okay.
There you go.
Now,
I have a question about that.
Yes.
Shouldn't she just use a bottle of Bain de Soleil and get the Saint-Tropez tan?
Listen to you. You're such a funny guy. Where'd you get that funny?
Yes.
Where'd you find that funny guy, that comedian? Becca?
I found him on the internet.
Yeah, he's
Go
he's
figure.
funny. He
There's
is
a
a
lot of
funny
good things on
man.
the internet. So one thing that I have noticed, Pharmacist Ben, that since taking the 90 essential nutrients and with the EFAs, the tangy tangerine, the osteoflex, I do not burn instantly like I used to.
Absolutely. That's perfect. That makes perfect sense.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's the way God intended us to, to protect our skin from the sun. One of the worst things you could ever put on your skin, I get in trouble all the time when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. One of the worst things you could put on your skin is a sunscreen. And, I did a video. I don't know if I ever told you this. Last year, some guy got me to do a video with him. He wanted to have some controversy. So he asked me about sunscreens. And so I went on. I told him about my take on sunscreens, how toxic they are. It became the most viral TikTok video on skincare for 2 days. There were hundreds of thousands of people and tens of thousands of comments, and about 50-50 of how stupid I was and how dumb I was. And there's some dermatologists who said how dangerous I was and how I shouldn't be saying things like that. And then 50% of people said, I knew that was a problem. And today, Whole Foods has banned sunscreens. And Hawaii and Key West and various beaches around the world have banned sunscreens because they kill the coral. They damage the sea life. So, it's a crazy thing to put on your skin is a sunscreen, in my opinion. God's sunscreens are what you did. The natural nutrients, particularly pigments from vegetables. The pigments are very, very protective against the sun.
Which those are going to be in the tangy tangerine.
Absolutely. And there's also, we actually have we used to have a product called Ultimate Youth, which is
the HGH Youth Complex, which is now the amino acid precursors. Well, it is amino acid precursors.
Well, one of them was just pigments. It was just pigments. It was all these fruit pigments. And I forgot what that was.
Oh, see, I'm looking for that because I just had that in my hand tonight. That's the 18 fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, that one.
So there's two bottles. One of them is the fruits and vegetables. The other one's one of them's fruits. The other one's vegetables. You got 18 of one and 20 on the other, and so you're getting pigments there and phytonutrients. Am I correct?
Yep, you're getting the pigments, the colors, and I think I have to see it, but I know you're getting the colors. That's the main things, the colors.
And the importance of colors.
The importance of colors. Colors are sun protection. And colors are, if you really want to know, what makes something colorful is its ability to move electrical energy. And that ability to move electrical energy can be used by cells. And so colors support the movement of electrical energy. The classic example is something called methylene blue. Have you heard of methylene blue? Methylene blue. Yeah, methylene blue is getting a lot of press these days, and there's a lot of biohackers are using it. The reason methylene blue is so important is because it can help move electrical energy very effectively, like all colors can. Methylene blue is particularly effective at moving electrical energy, especially for the part of the cells that are responsible for making energy, which is the mitochondria. And so methylene blue is important for mitochondrial health, and all of these pigments help the body channel electrical energy more effectively. What we see as color is really the absorption of electrical energy at a specific type of frequency. And when you eat those colors, that can help support your absorption of electricity at specific frequencies. So all pigments are going to be beneficial, particularly for the skin, but for anywhere where there's a lot of electrical energy.
All right.
Color's
Oh, thank
electrical.
Color is electrical.
Color is
All right,
electrical.
you heard it here on Pharmacist Ben Bites. Color is electrical, folks. And energy is electrical. AJ, you want your
Yes.
show back?
What's that?
Do you want your show back?
It's our show. We're the trifecta tonight. All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Who's next? Who's
Thank
next?
you, Becca. So now, one of our good friends and distributors, Shantae, has a question for one of her friends. But we're going to go to that next. But first, Joanna wrote in. She was just diagnosed with chondrocostal junction syndrome.
Okay.
Do you have any information on it?
What the heck is chondrocostal? You can't even say it. Although you're saying it better than you said it before, though.
That's right. You prepped me on that.
Chondrocostal junction syndrome.
But it's extremely painful in her chest area. And
Yes.
the general practitioner wants to send it to a heart doctor. She thinks it's a heart issue.
Well, maybe it could be. It's basically inflammation in the costal area, which is right here in the center of your chest. There's a bunch of cartilage where the ribs, where the cartilage joins the ribs here. This is a whole bunch of connective tissue. Basically, it's a connective tissue issue. It's deteriorating and inflammatory connective tissue. So this person does not just have chondrocostal junction syndrome. She's got to have other things going on because it's deterioration of the connective tissue, and the connective tissue doesn't deteriorate just in one place. So you can think of like a type of arthritis. It's just got a fancy name to it because it's in a specific area. All the healthy bone and joint pack, anything that she's putting into her system that is causing inflammation. I would want to know. Remember, I told you, I've said this before. I hate to keep repeating myself, but I will. We have one dot in the middle of our canvas. We need to have a couple more dots to see what's happening. But basically, she's got inflammation at the cartilage level where her chest is, where the cartilage hits the ribs. And it's probably every time she breathes, it's probably painful. Every time her ribs go in and out, it's probably painful. It's an inflammation of the connective tissue. Now, it could be due to a lot of things, but I'd have to hear what other symptoms she has to see what is going on exactly. But something is causing the connective tissue to become inflamed, the cartilage to become inflamed.
Okay, I will reach back out to Joanna, and hopefully we can have some answers for Friday's Daily with Doc.
Yes.
All right, so Shantae has someone is curious if lipoprotein, I guess is in a parentheses, I'm not sure if it's relevant, is as much of a threat as they're making it to be. What can be done to mitigate the risk from it and reverse plaque that has already deposited both soft and calcified in the arteries of my heart? The experts say it's genetic. There's nothing that can be done except to lower LDL, manage other risk factors.
Hang on. What is genetic? I didn't hear what she said was genetic. Say that again.
This lipoprotein, which has caused plaque.
What's the genetic part?
The doctors say that this lipoprotein buildup in the arteries is
genetic. That's what they tell you because they don't know what to say. That is the going. That's what the conventional wisdom is. It's not genetic. No, it's. Well, look, I can't help her with the statin. You do whatever she should do whatever she wants to do, and look. I said this on my call today in Australia. They have a thing in Australia where vitamin B6. There's a class action lawsuit against one of the supplement companies that has vitamin B6, and now people want to know, should they take vitamin B6? Is it dangerous? The government wants to ban it, blah, blah, blah. So I said on a call, the three dumbest places we get health information from are, number one, the medical people, number two, the government, and number three, the mainstream media. So if you want to get information, you're trying to get health information from any of those three sources, it's not going to work. Yes, they say it's genetic. No, it's not genetic. Let me take it back. Everything's genetic. What they mean is hereditary. They confuse genetic with hereditary.
We understand you, Ben.
Right? So it's not a hereditary problem. It's a problem of you making too much fat and too much cholesterol, and your metabolism is messed up, and it's part of what's called, as Becca will tell you, metabolic syndrome. So yes, the lipoprotein can accumulate in the plaque in the arteries, and it can cause thickening, and it could cause block blood flow, blockages and such. Yes, obviously that's a problem. But the real issue is the metabolic issue that's causing you to make so much cholesterol and make so much blood fats, because you're tricking the body into thinking it's supposed to be growing. That's why it's called diabetic dyslipidemia. Dyslipidemia means dys, messed up, lipid, fat, emia in the blood, messed up blood, fat, dyslipidemia. And they call it diabetic dyslipidemia. So again, I'd want to know what else this woman has. For them to say it's hereditary, your mother had it, so you had it, is depriving this person of A, the ability to really make a change, and B, the ability to take corrective measures so she doesn't end up with a horrible disease down the road. If you say, oh, it's just genetic, there's nothing we could do about it, it's your hereditary, we got to put you on a statin drug, now you're going to continue the lifestyle choices that were causing the problem because you think, oh, my mother had, I had, there's nothing I can do. So it's just not a really nice thing for a healthcare professional to do, to take the power, the leverage away from the patient and put it in the hands of, there's nothing we could do, and we have to put you on this drug, and you're going to be now awarded the pharmacomedical model or the pharmacomedical state. It's just not right. And I'm sorry I can't talk to this gentleman, this physician, or whoever said this. I have to talk through you to him, but they don't want to come on. And that's what I would tell him if I could talk to him. Why would you take the power away from your patient and say to her, you have to be on a statin drug, and this is just your mother had it, so you're going to have it, or it's hereditary? When we know good and well, there's a phenomenon called diabetic dyslipidemia, where you make excess cholesterol and you have higher blood fats, and it's all syndrome. Metabolic syndrome. What is a syndrome? What's a syndrome? Remember?
It's one
It's
thing.
a bunch of things.
Something else happen. It's
a bunch of things that happen from one cause.
Okay.
Okay, like leaky gut syndrome, metabolic syndrome. You screw up your blood sugar, your metabolism, you end up with a bunch of things: liver disease and blood disease and lipoproteins and clogs and heart disease and cancer and skin problems and a whole bunch of stuff. It's a syndrome, right? Becca, metabolic syndrome and lipoprotein A. I'm sure you wrote about it. Okay, next.
Yes.
Did I? As far as solutions for this one, I put her on the healthy blood sugar pack.
Becca, mute yourself unless you're speaking.
I put her on the healthy blood sugar pack. Treat her like a diabetic. I want to know what else she has though, but I would treat her like a diabetic.
I didn't say Becca leave the screen. I said Becca mute yourself. Shantae, I guess you're not coming on the screen. She had said that she had been on YGY for years. Nothing's changed. She's a health coach, but she needs this issue resolved. She feels before she can help others.
What's the issue?
The same issue.
Is it the lipoprotein A?
That was the same. That was the yes.
Got it. Blood sugar. Treat yourself like is she on the call?
No, her good friend is on the call.
Ask her about what other health issues she has. This is how the game is played. You can't just say, I had this problem, what do I do? Because that's doctor. That's how you doctor. The whole medical paradigm of I go to the cardiologist when I have a heart problem. I go to the dermatologist when I have a skin problem. I go to the endocrinologist when I have a hormone problem. I go to the neurologist when I have a brain problem. I go to the immunologist when I have an allergy problem. This whole model of working on these individual parts of the body doesn't work. It doesn't work. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's insane. You have to see the body as a system. So you can't say, what do I do about my lipoprotein A? Because it's all tied into everything else. But if you have to pick one thing, metabolic syndrome. And that's true about cholesterol too, by the way.
Pharmacist Ben.
And yes, it's a problem. It is as big a problem as we're making it out to be, because it can cause, number one, it can cause blood clogs, but number two, it can cause inflammatory changes in the blood vessels. And that's the last place you want to have inflammatory issues, is in the blood vessels.
All right. Well, hopefully she can take some good advice.
Healthy blood sugar pack. But I want to know more, actually.
Pharmacist
Yes.
Ben, we might need Becca to answer this question. Um, any organic coffee you might recommend? I think Becca may have an answer for that. But
I'm not a coffee drinker, but yeah, coffee's, we have an organic coffee, don't we?
We do have an organic coffee, and it has amazing mushrooms, 9 of them all mixed in with it, for a great coffee. So not only getting it organic, not only getting your coffee buzz, but you're also getting some beneficial medicinal mushrooms. So, Pharmacist Ben,
Yes,
do you
ma'am.
have any favorite mushrooms?
I'm not a big mushroom guy, but if I had to eat mushrooms, I'd eat a portobello.
I just had portobello pizza.
Yeah,
Use a
I'm
portobello
not a big
crust.
mushroom, not a mushroom. They're incredible. Go watch a movie called Fantastic Fungi if you ever get a chance. You can get on YouTube. Fantastic Fungi. Mushrooms are the fruit of fungus, and fungus the job of fungus, the fungal kingdom, is to take dead stuff and turn it into life. And if you put an old shoe in the ground over the court. Can you turn that? I got some feedback there. Somebody turn me off. If you take an old shoe and put it in the ground, it will, over the course of time, that old shoe will become a plant. It will actually, the fungus will turn all of the material in the old shoe into its component parts, and then nature will do the rest and turn that old shoe into a plant. And fungus can do it with anything. That's the job of fungus, is to turn dead stuff into living stuff. They're the bridge between life and death. And they are incredible, incredible creatures. What we call mushrooms are the fruit of the fungus. The most important part of the fungus is called the mycelium. And the mycelium is like an internet. It's a communication device that allows trees to talk to each other and allows various plants to talk to each other. And under the forest, you have these vast networks of fungal mycelia or mycelium, whose job is to facilitate communication of all the plants in the forest or anywhere in nature. Isn't that amazing? They're freaking amazing. Fungus are amazing. And that's why they're so hard to kill, by the way. If you get a fungal infection, they're really hard to kill because funguses thrive on everything. You can't kill them, really. You have to use super, super high-tech, powerful medicine, and antifungal medicine tends to be pretty powerful. Systemic antifungal medicine.
So even like toenail fungus, we've got to address it from the inside and outside.
Well, toenail fungus is actually your body trying to eliminate the fungus. And the fungus kind of eats the nail, but it's one of the ways the body has for getting rid of things. The nails are part of the body's excretory system. Things come out in the nails. And so it's very difficult to treat nail fungus. Yeah, really, they have commercials for products and, they use lasers and this and that, but it's really tough to treat any fungus. In fact, there's now there's like fungal epidemics, black fungus and black mold and those kinds of things that kill people. And they're really very difficult to treat. They happen in hospitals where people's immune system is compromised, because the immune system typically will actually take care of funguses. Our bodies can take care of funguses because there's this natural antagonistic adversarial relationship between bacteria and fungus. They live in balance. And one of the reasons people get fungal infections is when their bacteria are off. Either they're taking antibiotics or they're eating antibiotics and foods, or somehow they have dysbiosis issues. And that's one of the reasons why people have fungal infections, is from dysbiosis. Once again, everything goes back to the intestine.
Well, that's incredible, Pharmacist Ben. Now, for folks that do want to get a good coffee, you can go to coffee.dailywithdoc.com and you'll find my favorite coffee. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I will drink this. So I love it. AJ.
all right, I'm just gonna let all that slide, and then so Pharmacist Ben,
Yes, sir.
just to go back to a question you addressed earlier with Becca. Laura is asking on Facebook, is it different putting sunscreen on your face than on your body?
Is it different? Well, skin is skin, but your face happens to, you have thinner skin on your face. So you're going to get better, you're going to get more penetration of the toxin in your face because the skin is thinner than on your body. Also, I guess if you're on the beach, I imagine she's on the beach, so she's exposing everything to the sun. No, basically it's the same, except for the skin is thinner on the face. So you'll get more absorption into the bloodstream. And sunscreens can get into the blood for sure.
I guess what she's asking is it okay to use the sunscreen if I just put it on my body and not my face?
I'm not sure what she's saying because this problem with sunscreen has nothing to do with where you're putting it. Although you will get deeper penetration on your skin because on your face because the skin is thinner in your face, but it's still toxic stuff. You don't want to. Sunscreens are toxic chemicals, very toxic, and it's true that there's only small amounts, and you're not getting, you're only getting 10% or 15% in a product, but it's still a toxic chemical. They're very toxic chemicals. They're like drugs. And so I don't know. I don't ever wear one. Use zinc oxide. Zinc oxide, it has they used to call it a sunblock. Now they call it a mechanical sunscreen. They call it physical sunscreen versus a chemical sunscreen. So the ones we're talking about are chemical sunscreens. The physical sunscreens, like zinc oxide and titanium dioxide, those are the only two really. Those are not as problematic. And zinc oxide is actually healing and soothing. So if you need sun protection, use zinc oxide. That's soothing and healing versus toxic and nasty like octyl methoxycinnamide and octocrylene and homosalsate and octyl salicylate. And, there's about 14 different ones and they're all nasty.
Not butter.
What's that?
Not butter.
Not butter.
You shouldn't use butter.
As a sunscreen?
Yeah.
Butter will give you a suntan.
All right, it's just my.
And you want to hear something interesting about butter? Butter is very soothing for burns. It's anti-inflammatory. If you put butter on a sunburn, but not to protect you.
That's the butyric acid.
That's exactly right. Damn, AJ is nailing it.
Listening to my man Ben.
I love it.
Okay, so Shantae's other question was actually a different person who is dealing with some vitiligo.
Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease, and multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that affects the nerves. Hashimoto's thyroiditis is an autoimmune disease that affects the thyroid. Sjogren's syndrome is an autoimmune disease that affects the tear ducts. Lupus is an autoimmune disease that affects the connective tissue, and scleroderma likewise. Autoimmune diseases have different targets, but all autoimmune diseases are caused by the same thing. Where the autoimmune reaction occurs is not as important, it's not at all important as far as reversing it. So for multiple sclerosis or Hashimoto's thyroiditis or type 1 diabetes or rheumatoid arthritis or scleroderma or lupus or Sjogren's syndrome or any of the 130 autoimmune diseases, you backtrack to the digestive system. It's all a sign of dirty blood. What was the disease? What did this gal have? Vitiligo. Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease that affects the melanocytes. The melanocytes are the cells, site means cell, that makes what? Melanocyte. Melanin. Exactly. So vitiligo is an autoimmune disease where the melanocyte is attacked, and that leaves you with white spots. Sometimes you can have pretty severe white spots. In fact, Michael Jackson, famously, he had vitiligo, Michael Jackson, and his strategy, his dermatologist strategy was to lighten his entire body because they didn't know how to just take care of the one spot. That's why he used super, super strong skin lightener to lighten his entire body. And, you saw how he looked. That's what happens. So, it seems kind of crazy that that's how he would take care of vitiligo, but that's what they did. So the best thing to do for vitiligo is treat it as an autoimmune disease and work on all the autoimmune strategies. You're not going to put the pigment back. There's no cream that puts the pigment back. What you can do is you can stop the destruction of the melanocytes. Now, if you do it, your pigment might start to come back, but you can't like put a cream on and get your pigment back. That's not going to happen.
Pharmacist Ben, I used to have some vitiligo on the back of my neck. Everyone who slaps me in the back of the head said there's no vitiligo.
Yeah, because you probably start taking care of your health issues. And again, that's how we want to look at this. Not what do I do about this problem or that problem. We don't want to do this for that. Allopathic nutrition. And honestly, we're guilty of it. You know, sometimes we're guilty of it. Oh, I got this problem. I take that medicine. I take that supplement. Allopathic nutrition. You want to be careful about that because number one, it's very difficult to isolate a specific part of the system and effectively treat it because it's so networked and so tied in with everything. And number two, you lose an opportunity to correct the entire body to save your patient from something more horrible down the road. So it's really behooves everybody to see this thing as a system. So vitiligo looks like it's a skin problem, but it's really dirty blood, which is really intestinal issues and blood sugar issues and all other ways the blood becomes dirty. Good.
Très intéressant. Becca has another question.
All right, next question. I mean, you're a skin specialist. You formulate skin products.
Yes,
we're talking skin. We're talking about sun. What about makeup with SPF in it? Same thing.
I think I'm not going to talk about makeup with SPF. I'll talk about products with SPF where you have to
like foundation.
They're so ridiculous to me. Because why would you put a poison on your skin when you don't need it? To me, they're ridiculous.
Becca,
hang on, let me just say this real quick. And turn this. Yeah. If you need a sunscreen and you're going out in the sun, you're laying out in the sun, okay, wear it and then wash it off as soon as you don't need it anymore. Or wear zinc oxide. But to put one on automatically every time you put your makeup on, it just seems crazy to me. It's just crazy. Why would you do that to yourself? It's because we don't respect the chemistry of the sunscreens. We don't give the sunscreen chemicals the respect they deserve as poisons, as drugs. These things are not kind chemicals. And you need them sometimes. You don't want to burn. That's clear. You don't want to burn. So if you don't have an option, you got to wear a chemical sunscreen, wear it. Wear as low an SPF as possible and get it off your skin when you don't need it. And why would you put one on when you don't need one? Right? With the makeup and the products that haven't built in. Why do that to yourself? It's because we don't understand what these chemicals are.
I love the mineral makeup that Longevity offers and just putting minerals.
Yeah, it's just minerals. And minerals give you plenty of protection. You know, why would you add more chemicals to your face and to your body? It doesn't seems crazy to me.
It's because people don't know better.
I think that's why, yeah. And even our opinion leaders don't know better.
Becca, can you ask the question Barbara's got there? So Barbara asks, is there a difference between hyaluronic acid serum and collagen boost? These are Longevity products, which I figured...
I can't really talk about Longevity skincare because if you want, it's bad politics for me to talk about Longevity skincare. I don't know enough about it. I don't know what collagen boost is. I'd have to see the ingredient deck. I really...
You got Becca there with you. She knows a lot.
Yeah, I'd have to see the ingredient deck. I can't really talk. I can tell you about nutrition, but I can't really tell you about the skincare process. I don't know enough about them.
And I don't know the science behind it, AJ.
Okay.
So I can't, I'm sorry, Barbara, I can't really talk about Longevity products until I see them in front of me. And really, because I have my own skincare products, it's hard for me to really talk about anybody else. So I just soon avoid that. I just soon not answer those kinds of questions about skincare.
Tell us about Tangy Tangerine and its benefits for the skin, if any.
If any, it's amazing for the skin. It's electrolytes. Your skin's an electrical. All right, you really want to talk about this because we could do that till rest of the show because there's so many good things about Beyond Tang and Tangerine for the skin. But first of all, it's electrolytes. And your skin's an electrical system. It depends on electrolytes for cells depend on electrolytes for growth, particularly sodium, potassium, but really all the electrolytes. One of the things the electrolytes in Beyond Tang and Tangerine do, they are very supportive for mitochondrial health. The mitochondria, as you probably know, Becca, from your degree, the mitochondria are the parts of the cells that turn food into food, really not food, but the components of food into energy. And mitochondrial burnout is a major, major factor in disease because the skin is moving so fast. It's very dependent on mitochondria because it's very active. So it's dependent on energy. And electrolytes are supportive of the mitochondria, but even more so, and we don't really talk about this with Beyond Tang and Tangerine. But Beyond Tang and Tangerine has more, has the colloidal, plant-derived colloidal minerals, but it has another type of mineral in it as well that is not a plant-derived colloidal mineral, but just as good, if not better. And that is an ionic mineral, an electrical mineral. And these ionic minerals have tremendous health benefits, tremendous, particularly for the skin. They facilitate electrical energy in the skin, and we know that electricity is very important for skin healing. There's a guy named Robert Becker who wrote a whole book about this, about the electrical nature of skin healing. The ionic minerals that are in the Beyond Tang and Tangerine, and also the mineral toddy, are also important for reestablishing the electrical milieu inside the skin and inside skin cells. And bonus, they also support the absorption of substances. So using your Beyond Tang and Tangerine will support the absorption of other nutrients into the intestine and into the bloodstream and into the cells themselves. And the same thing can happen into skin cells. So Beyond Tang and Tangerine, just the electrolytes and just the minerals play a tremendous, or have tremendous value for the skin. But then you got the vitamin C, and you got the B complex, and you've got the glucosamine, and you've got the pigments, you got the vitamin A, and you got so many nutrients in Beyond Tang and Tangerine that are important for the whole body, but particularly for the skin. The skin and the digestive system are moving very rapidly. They're repairing very rapidly. The skin is on the outside, so it's subject to all kinds of abuse. The intestinal cells are subject to all kinds of abuse from foods. So nature has equipped the intestine and the skin with cells that divide very rapidly. Those are the two most rapidly dividing cellular systems in the body, are the skin and the digestive tract. And so they're very, very, very responsive to nutrition. And they heal very quickly in response to nutrition. So Beyond Tang and Tangerine, because it's such a well-rounded nutritional supplement, is important for everything, but especially for the skin and the intestine, the digestive tract.
Well, that's fantastic.
And by the way, you should always take your Beyond Tang and Tangerine and put it in a blender, because when you spin it in a vortex, you electrify it. And you structure the water. You electrify the water as well. So you're actually drinking an electrically active substance when you put your Beyond Tang and Tangerine in a blender. You got to do it quickly, though, because the electrical energy will disperse.
What's the benefit? You talk about all the time. We're talking about skin. We're talking about collagen. What's the benefit that vitamin C provides when you're taking collagen? When you're...
What's the benefit vitamin C provides? That's a whole hour. That's a whole hour. Yeah. Vitamin C deficiency vitamin C is the anti-aging vitamin. It is the quintessential anti-aging vitamin. And you don't need, there's all these fancy supplements they have now, or not supplements, but ingredients they have now that are supposed to be anti-aging and supposed to keep you younger and supposed to help healing. Nothing beats vitamin C. But because it's almost like, it's kind of a cliche, vitamin C. You know, you hear it, but you don't really, you hear it all the time. But because you hear it all the time, you don't really appreciate for what it is. It's so, 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 so powerful, vitamin C. And I always make a joke about the RDAs being the ridiculous deprivation allowance. And the reason that's so important is because the RDAs trick us. They trick us into thinking that's all we need, when in reality, the RDAs are all we need to stay alive, not to thrive. And so if you're happy staying alive, then yes, you only need 60 milligrams a day or 100 milligrams a day of vitamin C. But if you want to thrive and you want to be vital and strong and youthful, you need 1 gram, or you want 2 grams or 3 grams. See, the medical model is great for keeping us alive. That's their goal. They're not responsible for helping you thrive. They just want you not dead. In fact, they'll actually put you in the hospital with tubes and you'll be unconscious and you'll be a vegetable, but you're not going to be dead, because you're not on my watch. You are not dying, and that's their perspective. And that you can't fault them for that. It's good to be not dead, but you need more than not dead. And the RDAs are there to keep you not dead. So if you're happy just being not dead, then take your multiple vitamin and have the RDAs. But if you want to thrive, and you want to be vital and healthy and resilient and youthful and all the great things our bodies can do, you got to have more than the RDA. You want to be not dead? There's your multiple vitamin. There's your RDA. That's what the RDA is for, is to keep you not dead. But if you want to be vital and strong and healthy, you need to have copious, generous amounts. It's an insurance policy. And you'll pee out the rest. Just saturate your system with it.
Keep sipping.
So you need a lot more vitamin C than certainly than the RDAs than most of us are taking. And given that vitamin C is the anti-aging vitamin, it may be that accelerated aging is as much a vitamin C deficiency issue as it is anything else.
Subclinical scurvy.
Subclinical scurvy. Aging is subclinical scurvy. Exactly right. All the things about scurvy. When you have scurvy, it's hard to imagine a disease worse than scurvy. Your bones just break apart. They shred. Your bones shred. If you have scars, the scars open up. Can you imagine this? You open up. You just melt. You literally dissolve with scurvy. If you have scurvy,
sounds like blobification.
What's that?
Sounds like blobification.
It's like a type of blobification, absolutely, but it's worse because it's painful. Can you imagine your skin just starts to peel away? It's the most horrible things. Your gums turn black and your teeth fall out of your head or out of your mouth. You can't imagine a worse disease than scurvy. And the pain that you have to undergo when this happens as your body is deteriorating is unspeakable. And it used to happen all the time until they realized that, a little bit of a lemon would keep you, 1 lemon would keep you from having scurvy. But you need a lot more if you want to slow down the aging process.
Pharmacist Ben, we talked a little bit today on one of our meetings about the use of an, what's it called, Becca? An ionic foot bath. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I know. I've seen those. I don't know enough about them to be able to comment, but I've seen the water. I don't know how. I can't. I don't know how what the mechanism. They say that the toxins come through your feet. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. It might have something to do with electricity because it is an electrically active bath, and I think they actually put a voltage in there, if I'm not mistaken. Did they put some kind of electrical voltage in there?
Yeah, for sure.
And so it creates a magnetic charge, and that's sort of like that vortex I was talking about with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. It kind of creates a certain magnetic charge and it may magnetically pull things out. I think that's what they say. I don't know enough about it to comment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to.
Yeah. And then some people are kicking it up with the midnight minerals that we have, fulvic minerals in there and extracting.
The fulvic minerals are in the Beyond Tangy. That's what I was talking about. The ionic minerals. Those are the fulvic minerals.
Okay. So we have another product called midnight minerals, which are fulvic.
Fulvic?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Is that new?
Relatively new, a couple years.
I hadn't heard that. I have to look into that. I hadn't heard that.
Not cheap. Mr. T is wondering. I don't know if you ever see that Dr. Pimple Popper TV show. You've not.
I know.
You've
No,
never
I don't
seen
watch
that. I mean,
it's disgusting. Why does anybody watch that? I have no idea why people watch that.
It's interesting because there's a whole universe on like social media that they call like oddly satisfying, and pimple popping is
Yeah.
something that they consider to be.
You know what that is?
Fine.
You know what that is? That's called grooming behavior, and it's built into our genes from when we were monkeys, and we used to pick lice out of our monkey colleagues from our. That's grooming behavior, and that's what it is, and we're rewarded for that from a neurochemical perspective. We get reward chemistry that's activated by that, and so that's just an old vestige from when we used to pick lice out of our monkey wives and monkey kids' skin. As
Ben, you lose people when you tell them. So this pimple popper lady says that new sodium
hyaluronate
is promising, and are there topical vitamins?
Wait a minute. Sodium hyaluronate that's hyaluronic acid. That's the official cosmetic name of hyaluronic acid. Is sodium hyaluronate.
The whole question: are topical vitamin C products worth a try? Also, just read a book by Pimple Popper Lady. She says the new hyaluronic acid is promising.
I don't. What's the question? Is that a question?
Are topical vitamin C products worth a try?
Oh, I've been making topical vitamin C products since 1990, and let me tell you something. It's critical, but it's so misunderstood that most people don't get the benefit from it, because most vitamin C products are the cheap stuff. The good stuff is way expensive. Most vitamin C products are ascorbic acid. That's next to useless. Not quite useless, depending on how stable it is. You probably get a little benefit from it, but it's next to useless. Sometimes it's useless. Sometimes it's actually even worse because it oxidizes. So that's not the way to go. And I don't want to get into topical products because that's just politically incorrect. But I know quite a bit about topical skincare. And vitamin C in the right form is one of the top 4. There's 4 ingredients that everybody who cares about their skin should be using on a regular basis. 4 ingredients. And vitamin C is one of them. But it has to be in the right form. And that's a little tricky. And that, if you want to know about skincare, my take on skincare, I do a Zoom call on skincare. It's actually for professionals. You'll have to go to if you just look me up in skincare, you'll get a zillion things worth me talking about skincare. Just look up my name in skincare or Truth Skincare. It's Truth Skin Health.
So you don't like the 10%?
Say again? You just cut out there.
The 10%. The 10%.
I can't hear you.
Ascorbic acid. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, 10% ascorbic acid. What?
Is that not like the good stuff?
No, ascorbic acid is not the good stuff. But I don't want to really get into any situation.
No worries. You don't say less, as they say.
Okay. Yes, exactly. And I do have to go. So that was a wonderful call. Thank you so much.
Pharmacist Ben, thank you very much. And the only other question I really have for you is political, so I'll let you slide.
You have to say that for later.
See you Friday.
Right. See you Friday. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. See you Friday. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.